Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm here for a fan reaction with Matt from AC Milan Bros after the 0-0 tie game between Roma and Milan. Matt, great result in your opinion. I mean, 0-0 at the Olimpico, you can't leave unhappy with that result. But what do you think about the performance in general? Are you happy with the point taken from the Olimpico, or you think Milan could have done something even more than this today?
Um, well, after the 1-0 loss to Genoa a few weeks ago, I think I even said it on Rossoneri TV that if Milan can somehow manage to grab 4 points out of their next two games, which would include a win over Napoli and a draw over Roma, they would have done their job heading into some favorable fixtures at the beginning of the year. Of course, they had the shocking result against Napoli where they held them scoreless 2-0, and then they had this game today where they for the most part the game was very sloppy going back and forth, but they managed to hold on to a point. And I thought once Armero, I thought that was the gut-wrenching blow that was going to kind of set back Milan, because I feel like that's you can with this team you can kind of expect those things to happen. But of course the team came together. The backline, you made the substitution for Honda and put in the extra defender in Alex. So everyone did their assignment. Everyone was for the most part organized, which was I thought the result was a well-deserved one, and one that Milan could kind of keep their heads high on approaching the winter break.
Well said, well said. And you mentioned something there about clean sheets. Who would have expected to keep a clean sheet against Napoli and Roma? Really, I think the defense has definitely improved. No matter who plays in the back four, of course, we're always subject to changes every match. And I think Milan definitely has improved in that sense, in that department. Of course, there's still lots to work on, still many silly mistakes at times. But it's an encouraging sign to see that we're actually starting to keep clean sheets, especially against big teams. What's your take on that, Matt?
I mean, you pretty much touched on it all. I agree, and it's interesting with this team because first year manager, not much going on with in terms of contributions from a true striker. Menez leading the pack with goals, of course, but seeing as they against the top teams, or at least your main opponents that you could look toward every year, Juve, Roma, Napoli, Lazio, and Inter as the top teams. They conceded one against Inter. They drew the match. They beat Lazio 3-1 in the first match of the season. They lost 1-0 to Juve. They held Roma and Napoli scoreless. So again, I see the trend that a lot of people are kind of touching on week in and week out, is that for this team Milan, regardless of the circumstances, they seem to turn in a better performance versus the stronger sides. When you saw the draws the draws and the dropped points against the teams like Cesena and then the teams like Sampdoria, Palermo, those games, they seem like they don't give enough respect to the team, but I feel like they don't feel like they're really tested. I feel like when they get into the big opponents like they just have these past few weeks, they're kind of taking it as a huge challenge and kind of in stepping up and turning in a real good performance.
Very well said there. I completely agree with you on those points. Milan is a team that still inconsistent, of course, and really it matters. The opponent really matters when Milan plays because, as you said, they always have these different approaches. It seems like the more respectable opponents, they'll try harder or they'll perform better. That's what exactly Milan's missing right now. Trying to find consistency to play like this, like we saw in these past few weeks, against every opponent, and that's going to be the real challenge, I think, going into the next year.
And I just want to touch on too that the fact that if I'm correct on this, that they beat Fiorentina too, and the second game of the season they beat Parma, who were a Europa League team. So like at that time, of course, we know where Parma is now, but the second game of the season we didn't know what type of team Parma was, and everyone was like, Milan's got Lazio, Parma, and Juve. They can have potentially 0 points out of this. So it's speaking volumes that they're against the more tougher opponents. They're turning in a better performance. But from what we've seen these past 2 weeks, I think we're finally starting to see people come together as a manager with the squad and really understand what his strengths and weaknesses and with what he has with this team. He's seen that Bonaventura is maybe not the flashiest player, but someone who has a great work rate, someone who's very smart on the ball and knows what to do in a certain situation. So I think right now this is a perfect time for Milan to jump into a break. Gives them some time to get some players back, get Montolivo settled in. He had a couple games under his belt. Now he could kind of see what he has, and of course we are approaching the exciting transfer window. So it's going to be interesting to see what we do this next month, given the fact that we're on a good, at least for the past few matches, a good run of form.
Yep, very well said. Once again, I really agree with what you said. Thanks, Matt, for joining us. Once again, guys, don't forget to follow them on Twitter at AC Milan Bros. Lots of great insight on Milan and more. So hopefully, guys, Matt, I'll see you in the next year, of course, 2015. Happy holidays. And yeah, see you then. Thanks, guys, for watching. This has been Gio from Rossoneri TV signing off. And as usual, Forza Milan.
Forza Milan.